I was reading this book recently, and the author was talking about how we as society, as a culture, are obsessed with productivity and almost to our detriment. And she talks about how we're so obsessed with productivity that it almost like makes us less productive. And she actually has some really fascinating points, but she did say something that rubbed me the wrong way. She was like, people will have a journal for fitness, they'll have a journal for tracking their eating, they'll have a journal for gratitude, they'll have a journal for their thoughts, they'll have a journal for finance. And I was just like, girl, do not come for me in my journals, because I love my journals. I get it though. She's talking about those people who they'll go and they're like, oh, I'm gonna start journaling. So they'll go and they'll buy like 10 different journals, and then, they write like one page in it, and then those journals collect dust, and then they repeat that cycle. We've all done that, okay? Let's not pretend that we haven't all done that. And I just wanted to say that I, as someone who genuinely enjoys journaling for whatever fucking reason, I don't know why, I can just write in my little journal all the time and just fill it up. Like, I'm telling you, I fill these journals up. I don't know how it happens. And then it hit me. I was like, how come so many people will be like, oh, I want to, I'm people. Like, I've done this in the past. Oh, I want to start journaling. I want to start reading more again, right? We all want to do these healthy habits. I want to start going to the gym more. I want to start going and playing guitar more. I want to learn a new language, right? There's so many things I want to do in life. I think about how life is going so quick, but also so slow. And I start to think about how one day I'm going to die. And I go into a little crisis, and I think I need to start living my life right now and prioritizing the things I value. But as someone who has spent years, I'm telling you, years honing the perfect habits, the perfect morning routine, the perfect night routine, okay? All these self-care habits that we all know and love. I feel like I've really finally come to a place where I have learned when to push myself and be disciplined, and when to give myself a break and forgiveness and compassion. And I'm going to tell you how I did it. I'm going to tell you how I perfected my habits. And I cannot recommend the book Atomic Habits enough. I just love it. I think there's so many key things in that book that really help you understand why building habits is important. And once you understand why, it just really motivates you to want to do it more. And action and success and momentum, those are the best motivators. But those things often come after you start, right? So I learned from reading Atomic Habits, start with 3 habits, no more than 3, okay? No more than 3 habits, and make sure that the habits you pick are ones that you can be disciplined to. I'm not going to break down like he does in the book. He even has this app I've recently discovered. It's called Atoms. None of this is sponsored. If you think for whatever reason that this is sponsored, no. I just genuinely love these books. And this app I use every day because I love it. It's free. You had me at free. And let me tell you, I tried to add more than 3 habits, and it was like, basically it like popped up with a thing and was like, less is more, okay? Focus on these 3. And I really was like, wow, I feel like I always will have like 9 habits to do in the morning, 9 habits to track at night. And I'm like, I want to track flossing, and I want to track waking up at 6:30, and I want to track running during this day and this workout. And it's like, at what point are you tracking too much and too little? Okay. And it took me years to find that balance. And I have found that the key is 3 habits. Okay. And I always make sure that these habits are easy to complete. Easy. Okay? Because it's about building consistency. It's about becoming a person who does these habits. So it's about getting 1% better each day. It's not about doing 1-hour workouts every time. You can't miss a day. And if you do, you better forgive yourself and get right back on that horse. No, some days will be like that. And that's great. Those days are meant to be enjoyed. Those days are meant to be like, I am feeling good, I'm feeling strong, and I'm ready to take on this workout and do the extra rep, okay? Or maybe you're even having a low energy day, but you still find that will at the end of your workout to be like, just one more rep, okay? That is a big part of it. Having 3 habits that you can easily do. Like, for example, I like to meditate for 15 minutes a day, but I put for my meditation habit that I want to do daily, meditate 5 minutes, because I know that personally I'm at a place with my meditation journey where doing 5 minutes is so easy to me. It used to be 60 seconds, but doing 5 minutes is so fun and easy for me that it's just like, you have no reason to say no. I set this habit up in a way, after I get my coffee, I sit and I meditate. And it's because I have my little want, my little fix, my little drink, my little dopamine hit, whatever that may be for you. For me, it's my warm cup of coffee. And I pair that with something I want to do with something I may not want to do, that I'm building a habit, like meditating. And in doing this and making it easy for myself, I've been able to be so consistent with it, where I will often meditate more than 5 minutes, because I've built this confidence where I'm like, oh, I am a person who meditates every day. I'm a mindful person. Some days it's 5 minutes, some days maybe it's an hour, but I do meditate every day. And my second habit that I did was yoga daily. Now, I think there's been 2 days that I've missed in the past couple weeks. So this yoga hasn't been 100% consistent, but it's really easier for me to tell myself to stay disciplined and do something, even if a part of me doesn't feel like wanting to do it. Just a part of me, because another part of you does want to do it, right? So I remind myself that there's different parts of me, right? And one part of me may not want to do it, but another part of me does want to do yoga and does want the benefits of it, and feeling fit and feeling strong and feeling good, feeling healthy, being healthy, right? Becoming a yogi. So what I do for my daily yoga habit is I can mark that habit as complete as long as I roll my yoga mat out and start. Because 9 out of 10 times, I will roll my yoga mat out and start my yoga, and I will just naturally be in the flow and want to finish. But if I've told myself that's all I have to do is start, and then if I'm really not feeling it, then that probably means I'm genuinely needing a break or time to rest, or maybe I need to eat or something. And the whole point is I made this habit so easy for myself that it's almost like you really don't have any excuse to skip it, because it's so easy. But then once you start, 9 out of 10 times, you're going to want to do something. You're going to want to finish, even 5 minutes. And I'm telling you, after 5 minutes, 9 out of 10 times, you're going to be like, I want to do just one more minute. Before you know it, you've built a yoga practice. And so anyway, stick to 3 habits. My third one is weight training 3 times a week. I've been 100% consistent with this habit, and I'm so so happy because like I feel like I genuinely forgot how much working out really just energizes me. Even in the days I'm not working out, like on my rest days, it energizes me to do the things that I usually will hound myself for. Like, I just feel like taking a shower because I got a good workout in. Now a nice clean shower feels good. And then, I want to put on clean sheets on my bed so I can get in a nice clean bed and nice clean clothes. And I just showered and I'm all ready to get all cozy in bed because I just had this really good workout. It leads to one thing to another. And these habits build on each other. But if you tell yourself just these three, and my habit, the third one is weight training, but I'm at a place where I feel like I can be disciplined in my weight training and tell myself to show up at the gym those days. If perhaps you've never been to a gym, maybe your weight training habit might start with putting on a workout fit and driving to the gym. And then you can check off your habit, even if you didn't do a workout, because you are building that consistency little by little. Add 1% more each day. And then maybe next time it'll be you drive to the gym and you go inside. And then maybe the next week it's you drive to the gym, you go inside and you get on a treadmill for 2 minutes. And you build 1% each day. And then before you know it, a couple weeks, a couple months pass and you have met your goals. You're miles from where you started. And it's about like what I'm getting at too is making it fun. So having 3 habits that you're disciplined with, you're like, okay, I'm going to discipline myself with this. And also practicing a balance of, if you start your habit and you're still really not feeling it. Let's say you go to the gym, you start your workout and you are just like, this is not it. Then that happens some days. Those are the days that you showed up and you tried anyway, and you give yourself some compassion, you give yourself some forgiveness, and you say, I'll try again tomorrow. Or whenever the next day is you're supposed to go. And you just don't have to be so hard on yourself. In fact, you really can't be hard on yourself because the more hard on yourself you are, the less productive you are in the end anyway. And it's not even about being productive. It's about feeling good. It's about being healthy, feeling healthy. And I noticed in having these 3 habits that I'm very disciplined with and that I stick to, that it allows me to have more freedom and fun for my other habits, like playing guitar and going for runs and editing my YouTube videos, making these podcasts. Now that I don't feel like, on these days, I have to show up and make this podcast. On this day, I have to show up and run. I felt like I was all over the place because it was like I was dedicating to meditating, to yoga, to weight training, playing guitar, learning that new language, going for walks more, hitting 10K steps, doing my archery hobby. Like, there's so much you can think of that you want to do and habits you want to incorporate. Narrow it down to 3 that you really feel like you can discipline yourself with, that you really feel like will change your life over time, that add happiness and enrich your life on the daily. And then make all those other habits fun. You don't have to discipline yourself. They're for fun, okay? You have your disciplined habits and then you have your fun habits. Those habits that you do because it sounds fun. And I'm telling you, when you have just 3 that you're disciplined for, I feel like I have so much more energy to, like I'm editing more YouTube videos, I feel like, than I have ever when I would tell myself, okay, Tuesdays, Thursdays, I'm editing. Then on these days, I'm filming. And then on Sundays, I'll be posting. I feel like I'm editing and filming and posting just more naturally because it's more fun than I ever was when it was like set up for me. Now, maybe one of your disciplined habits would be making YouTube videos. Then yes, you would want to stay disciplined and consistent, and not just do it when it sounds fun. But what I'm getting at is pick 3 habits to be disciplined in, and then write down habits that you think are fun, and then just do those when you're done, when you feel like it's fun, when you're like, what should I do now? Other than scrolling on TikTok for hours or watching YouTube videos, I could do one of these fun habits and actually enrich my life and feel good. This is seriously how I've learned to be most productive with my habits, because if you put too much on your plate and you're too scattered, you don't end up putting focus in any one place and you don't end up getting results like you want. For example, I used to love reading as a child, and then I kind of fell off of it when I got into college because I was mainly reading books to study for school, so I felt like I didn't have time to read for fun. I ended up in 2020 starting to try and read more, okay? And I would be like, okay, I had a reading journal and I was like, I'm going to read for 2 minutes every day and I'm going to habit track it, right? And doing that, like, it was easy because it's just 2 minutes and I didn't find it like unmanageable, but I noticed that when I quit tracking reading and I was like, I'm just going to read for fun, okay? Instead of like, I'll just make a rule for myself. No scrolling on social media in the mornings. And then what else can I do? Read. There's other few things I can do that don't require scrolling, doom scrolling. And one of them is reading. And if that sounds fun, then that's what I'll do. And I know it's good for me. So in the mornings, instead of scrolling, I would just be like, well, this sounds fun, so I'll just read a couple pages. And then before I knew it, I would be chapters in, hours had passed, I hadn't eaten, and I had been putting off even going to go pee-pee because I am so into this book. And I ended up reading, like last year, I was not strict about habit tracking my reading. And I said, I'm just going to do this for fun. And I ended up reading way more than I ever did when I was being strict with myself and telling myself I have to read during these times. Because this is a hobby for me that I really want to be for fun. Now, let's say you have to read for your job or for school. Maybe you do want reading to be disciplined, so maybe you do want to say every day at this time, I will be disciplined in reading. So it's about choosing what I'm getting at. 3 habits to be disciplined in, and then choosing habits for fun. And then just doing those whenever it feels fun, whenever you feel inspired, or whenever you feel bored. Whenever you feel like, I don't really know what to do right now, just pick up your guitar or start coloring or I wrote down several habits that I used to love as a child. I'll even share them with you. How about that? So I made a huge list of habits that I wanted to do every day, right? And I was like, how am I going to do all of these things? How am I going to learn a language and run and do Muay Thai and play guitar and make my YouTube videos and do a podcast and read and journal and make art and do my archery and hike and write my book? And then on top of that, do my meditation, my yoga, my weight training, meal prepping. Like, you get what I mean? Like, it gets to be too much. So what I did, I picked 3. My meditation habit, my yoga habit, my weight training. Those are my 3 habits that are almost like non-negotiables. I do those things no matter what. I know they'll be good for me. I know it's good for me to push myself to do them most of the time, 9 out of 10 times. Every now and then you got to be compassionate with yourself, give yourself a day off. But what about all these other habits? I made a list and I put it on my board. Guitar, Muay Thai, running, making YouTube videos, making podcasts, reading, journaling, making art, digital art, coloring, painting, watercolor, archery, hiking, fashion and beauty, writing my book. These are all things. So whenever I'm like, I'm bored, I don't know what to do, I finished my workout for today, I did my meditation, I did my yoga, and, I feel restless. I want to do something fun. I can look at this and just pick one of those hobbies and just have fun with it. I don't have to be too strict with it. And in having them be more fun, I end up doing them a lot more than if I was like to be super strict with it. So I do think that I do want to say that discipline and structure are necessary for freedom and flow. But there needs to be a balance. You need a balance of that structure, that discipline, and freedom, flexibility, flow, and compassion and forgiveness for yourself, taking a day off, resting, working hard and playing hard. Like, you need to find a balance for that works for you. And this is what I found works for me. This is why I'm making this podcast, because it took me years. It took me years, little lambs, to figure this out. And to figure out, like, how much to track, how much is too much, how much is too little, and where to start, how to build these habits. I've learned how to build a healthy lifestyle and been studying this for years. I spent years in school learning about the body and nutrition and anatomy and how to take care of myself. And I really try to adapt that into my everyday lifestyle. I meditate because I know it's good for me. I meditate because it helps me with my mind, okay? My yoga helps me with my spirit. And then my weight training helps me with my body. And another thing that I just really want to mention is I just an honorable mention for working out, because I really did forget how important it is to have a consistent workout routine, how much it builds my confidence, how good I feel. I feel so much more energized. Like, you almost feel like it would make you too tired. Like, oh, you're working out, I'm tired, I want to rest. But like, once you get into action and you get that momentum, you want to keep going. Like, you'll want to come home and take a shower. You'll want to come home and clean, and you want to, like, when you wake up the next day and you feel accomplished, you're like, I worked out yesterday. I want to, do this. I want to do that. And you just I really feel like working out just helps align not just working out, but having healthy values in health and fitness, and really prioritizing fitness and health in your life can just make everything else fall into place. And I just really wanted to mention that here on this podcast, because I feel like people need to know that. People need to talk about that. It needs to be addressed, because I just feel like I spent years of my life not even realizing the importance of how working out is not supposed to be about aesthetics. It's not supposed to be about looking a certain way or being a certain way. It's about simply feeling good, being healthy, like really prioritizing that in your life, especially adapting these habits young, because, working in healthcare, I've seen it. Like, I don't work in healthcare anymore right now, but oh my gosh, like, it humbles you. It really, like, fills you with gratitude for what you have. Like, to see people struggle with their just daily life like seeing people literally struggling to sit up in a bed, to grab a cup of water, to sip that water, it makes you so grateful for your health. It makes you really realize what matters, and it really just puts things into perspective. And I want to share that message with people, because not everyone's going to be working in healthcare. Not everyone's going to experience that. But I want everyone to know that lesson. I feel like everyone maybe already knows that lesson, but we need a reminder sometimes. Like, we need to be reminded how lucky we are to have our bodies. And the people I'm really talking to right now are the people who are like I used to be in the past, so obsessed with how I looked, if I looked fat or too small or too big or too muscular, not muscular enough, or, does my butt look this way, or is there, cellulite or cottage cheese? It's like, at the end of the day, once you really focus on your health, those things, those cosmetic things, they don't matter. They don't matter to you deep down. They shouldn't, and they don't, because it's just not important. And what is important is feeling good and being healthy, feeling healthy and becoming a person who lives a healthy lifestyle. And I'm just so passionate about it. And I don't want to force anything down people's throats. I'm just trying to motivate and uplift people who who maybe feel lost, like they don't know where to start, and they've always wanted to be a fit person, but they just don't see themselves like that. That's why I'm making this video. I want people to, I don't know, just resonate with what I'm saying and relate. And if you did, I love that. And I really appreciate you, and I'm so grateful for you taking time out of your day to listen to this. And I hope it inspires you to continue on your fitness journey and your health goals, and just really focusing on feeling good, like doing things to feel good and to be healthy, not to look a certain way or to lift a certain amount of weight or whatever external cosmetic goals like that. Anyway, I love you. Thank you. And it really helps me to think of it like this. Challenge, discipline, and structure are necessary to feel freedom and flow and rest and comfort. They're two sides of the same coin. Just like you have to be able to feel suffering and misery to know what it feels like to be happy and to really appreciate when you feel love and happy and peace. There are two sides of the same coin that are both needed for one another. And that helps me find more respect and more tolerance for the discipline and for the pain and for misery in life, because I know that those things are necessary for me to experience comfort and love and enjoyment. Okay, I will leave you with that.